People will destroy their dreams or break their own values to meet their own needs. What's up, everybody? Tyler here with this week's ThoughtLoad. And that was something I read last time, just beginning to introduce the 6 human needs that I'm going to go into much greater detail today. But I wanted to emphasize that again with people will destroy their dreams or break their own values to meet their needs. And this sentence will make a little bit more sense after walk you guys through more specifically what these human needs are and what we do to get them. So to touch on as an overview, and I did read this last time, but I'll say it again here. How is it that one person will sacrifice his own life for another while another person will murder a stranger? No matter who you are in the world or what you do, there's a common force that's driving and shaping all your emotions and actions. It determines the quality of our lives and ultimately our destiny. These needs have been encoded into our nervous systems over centuries. Although each of us is a unique and special soul, we're all wired in very much the same way. There's 6 human needs, fundamental drives within each of us that compel us forward in a quest to experience a life of meaning. There's no conscious effort necessary, or our will to satisfy these primal needs is automatic. So here are the 4 primal needs. We have certainty, variety, significance, and connection and love. So starting off with certainty, everybody wants stability around their basic necessities, food, shelter, and other material resources, right? When people cannot control their physical circumstances, they may seek certainty through a state of mind, such as religious faith or a positive outlook. And paradoxically, we also need variety or uncertainty as a primal need. People have a need to change their state, to exercise their body and emotions. Therefore, they seek variety through a number of means: stimuli, change of scene, physical activity, mood swings, entertainment, food, etc. Number 3, we have significance. Everybody needs to feel special and important in some way. People will seek significance through obtaining recognition from others or from themselves. When people feel insignificant, they may make themselves feel significant by getting angry. Others might try to feel significant due to the size or complexity of their problems. I think this one is probably most prevalent in people that I interact with, conversations that I overhear, is that last part of people wanting to feel significant, and they turn to making the complexity of their problems seem so severe that it makes everything okay, right? It's a justification process or mentality to make them feel significant, to meet this need. And it's not that that's a bad thing to fill this need. It's just not the best way to go about it, as you can see. And 4, you have connection and love. Humans need to feel connected with someone or something, a person, an ideal, a value, a habit, or a sense of identity. Connection may take the form of love, or it may be created by a sense of belonging or a spiritual sense. Like any of the 6 human needs, people can fulfill their need for connection and love in positive or negative ways. And that's the thing here with the 4 primal needs. Now, the other 2, 5 and 6, are both spiritual needs, and there's not a paradoxical grab between them. These primal needs, like I just said, we can fulfill them both positively or negatively. We can make our problems or our stressors in our life seem a lot more impactful or powerful over us, which makes us feel more significant because we have bigger problems than somebody else, but yet, we're still getting up and we're still doing the work and those things. And also with feeling connected or belonging to something, that a negative aspect of that would be when you identify yourself with an idea, or you identify yourself with a use a political party, for example, and then you subscribe to all of those beliefs or the values that that party, quote unquote, has, because that fills your need for connection, but it also diminishes your self identity because you're now subscribing to a laundry list of items from an idea or a value that you may have that you're trying to feel connected to because you're trying to fill this need. And again, these things are ingrained in us. These things are what we need to experience any type of fulfillment in our life. But yet there's a good way to go about it. And obviously there's a bad way to do it. But moving on to the two spiritual needs, we have growth and contribution. So growth is everything's either growing or dying. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how many people acknowledge you, or what you have achieved. Unless you feel like you're growing, you will be unhappy and unfulfilled. And contribution, we all have a deep need to go beyond ourselves and to live a life that serves the greater good. In the moments that we do this, we experience true joy and fulfillment. Contribution is the ultimate secret to the joy that so many people wish to have in their lives. So with the two spiritual needs, we have to meet those if we want to experience that sustainable joy instead of just momentary pleasure. That's what we get. That momentary pleasure is what we get from fulfilling a primal need, right? And that could be either in a positive or negative way. And if we keep doing it in negative ways, it's not sustainable. So when you look at these 6 human needs and you start to piece together how it looks in your day-to-day life that you're going about meeting these needs, and if you're not meeting them, or if there's some that you're not meeting at all, that could be a great reason why you're not experiencing the happiness or the fulfillment that you want out of your life. So focusing on trying to meet these needs is paramount. But what I will say is it really matters what you're focusing on. What do you value most, right? And that's something I'll get into in a future episode. But when you focus on, let's say, the two spiritual needs, or you focus on contribution, you are going to meet some other needs with a downstream effect. A great example of this is we were just up at Lake Erie having a nice family vacation. And throughout the week, I was taking some short little snippet videos to throw a bigger video together for my grandmother. And while I was doing it, just capturing these really cool, sweet memories and moments, and starting to put them together and form a video, add a little bit of music to the background, and just seeing it all as a bigger picture. It felt that when others would watch this, especially those that were there and were a part of some of these little snippets and little videos, I got the impression that people would get a sense of significance, seeing a great memory that they were a part of on screen and being able to re-immerse themselves in that feeling. Or they may not have even realized that I was taking a video at that and seeing so cool how it is just to experience that moment or that memory in the third person, right? Looking at it. And so what I realized there is I was starting to fulfill a need of contribution. I was contributing a great collage of memories, of moments over the course of our week, to be able to always go and look back to and to give to the others in our family so they could check those out and relive or just experience a little bit of it if they weren't there. And by doing so, I'm also fulfilling other people's needs of significance by watching that. And I'm also filling my own need for connection with them and with my family, as well as significance, because I was pretty proud of it. I was really happy with how it turned out. It was a lot of fun, and getting a little bit of recognition, or it's people giving the feedback that it was great and they really enjoyed watching it and loved it. I mean, those things make you feel good. So when you focus on some of these higher needs, right, these spiritual needs, especially contribution and then growth as well, you're going to not only fulfill more needs for yourself, but you're also going to be able to fulfill needs of others. And that's what contribution there is all about. So in summary here, as I wrap up, all human beings, we're consistently seeking to meet our 6 human needs, right? And we all tend to value 2 more than the rest. For example, someone who values certainty most will live a radically different life than someone who values uncertainty or variety. Similarly, someone who focuses on significance most will interact with others very differently than someone whose number 1 need is for connection or love. Once you understand what's truly driving you, you'll unlock the answers to creating lasting change in any area of your life. So again, being able to put the pieces of the puzzle together, see how it is that you're fulfilling these needs, if you have gaps in these needs, and if it's a positive or if it's a negative way, if it's sustainable or not. And then when we figure these things out, we can really start to piece together exactly how we can make changes in these areas by understanding that these are natural things. We need these as humans. It's not something like, oh, I shouldn't ever desire the feeling of significance or certainty. I shouldn't do that. That's the wrong way to go about this. It's how do we fulfill these needs in a sustainable, enjoyable, and way to experience that joy and happiness that we're all supposed to have. And so, as I wrap up, last quote from Tony Robbins here says, all behavior, positive, negative, or neutral, is simply an attempt to meet these 6 needs. There's always a way to fulfill a need. The skill lies in finding a sustainable way to fulfill it, and in a way that gives you more pleasure than pain. Thanks everyone for listening to this week's ThoughtLoad. Next time, we'll be back with a few more lessons from UPW. We might get into the Wheel of Life. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the website. Connect with us on Twitter or Instagram if you have not already. And we will catch you next time on ThoughtLoad. And as always, begin the duel, win the day.